Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on some more indie fed results. We got Beyond Wrestling Tournament for tomorrow. 3 nights results. From night 1 results of one review, raw footage, hosted by Jerome Cussin. So I'll give him credit for the results. I'm just reading it. From the DVD review, featured leave a comment. For more info on Beyond Wrestling, including the ability to purchase all the secret shows and tickets, check out their website. To watch the bonus match and thousands of others, check out their YouTube page, which I will give you the results in this video. It's tough to get a tournament and series of shows that took place 9 months ago. 9 months is a long time. It's tough to get a tournament and in the world of professional wrestling, especially given some of the incredible happenings and news since these events happened. Finally, Beyond Wrestling made the second tournament of tomorrow raw footage available for purchase on their website. Only inhibition in recommending these shows, especially given the price point and there being 40 matches on the website, and three shows exactly, is the video and audio quality. The best metaphor I can come up with in discussing the triple shot is that watching tft2 was like watching shows take place underwater. The sound was very muted and the video bit blurry. I hope there's a way to clean up the technical issues for the DVD and the MP4. AR Fox and Shinron have wrestled each other a number of times in Beyond Wrestling, and what makes their chemistry so good is that they are able to maintain high-flying style while also telling a story. Fox actually gets to play heel in this promotion. It's a role that he's slowly growing into. I have to imagine that Fox will be unable to ever fully embrace the persona without being able to cut a good promo. This was a great way to start the show. They hit everything clean and were able to believably get Shinron over as a threat to the CLL title, as Fox won with a crucifix pin in that wasn't exactly a hot finish, but enjoyed the match a great deal. The show took a step in the wrong direction with the next match as Tommy Trainwreck defeated Scotty Wild with a bulldog driver. I know these two are the two local guys, but would have rather seen the other matches get more time or seen this cut altogether. Trainwreck nearly got dropped on his head multiple times, and there was a number of moments of sloppiness throughout the contest. This was a case of two wrestlers seeing what happened in the opener and trying to top it instead of wrestling a competent match. For example, Scotty Wild almost fell on his first moonsault attempt, but then managed to hit it, except for the fact that his leg somehow hit Trainwreck in the face. This was an incompetent and ugly match where neither wrestler came off very well. The original concept of the TFT was men versus women in all the first round matches. Because of various injuries, Hania and Jesse Brooks were unable to participate. Green Ant was booked to wrestle the first tournament of tomorrow. Aaron Epic. This was a decent back and forth match, which suffered from the fact both wrestlers would have to wrestle later on that night as well. With Epic having won the first tournament, him jobbing out so quickly in the first round made the match feel insignificant. Injuries obviously can change booking plans, but there's got to be a better alternative than having Epic wrestle in the first tournament match and lose in 11 minutes. We got our first intergender match next, which was Matthew Palmer, who I've seen from time to time in Anarchy Championship Wrestling, take on someone who's slowly been making a name for herself in a number of female-only indies, Jules Malone. A fairly typical intergender match, with Palmer being a sexist pig and Malone wrestling from behind as a underdog babyface. The action was good, and at 7 minutes in, I think the match length worked to the advantage as Palmer won with a snapmare driver in a nice showcase of his finisher. Good for the time given and interesting dynamic between the two first-time opponents. More energy interaction in the next match as Lexus wrestled Anthony Stone. There wasn't a real heel phase dynamic, but like the many matches on the show, there wasn't a fill-out process. It started out with a quick pace. Lexus was more of a striker and aggressor. Stone is a weird hybrid because at times he rides the line between using high flying and focusing more on technical wrestling. I'm a big fan of Stone's style and wish he could be used in other places. I like this match as a bit more than the previous one because it didn't feel as cliched as they worked with each other quite well. As perplexing as it was to have Aaron Epic lose one first round match, him losing a second time was even more bizarre. His match with Darius Carter was slightly more engaging than the one with Green Ant. Carter has a really great heel persona going in beyond wrestling, so I think it helps any matches he's in since the crowd dislikes him. Carter also plays up his behavior well. Things were going along quite well with Epic first working the left arm and then the left leg. Carter almost seemed to mock Epic by trying to work on the arm himself. Here's the change in the strategy. Epic eventually locked in a Boston Crab. Carter grabbed the bottom rope and they immediately used his injured leg to hit a code breaker for the victory. Carter winning clean and getting his finish over cleanly was good. Rendering all leg work was bad. Bad struck me as it was as pointless, and the finish took the match down a peg for me. Nonetheless, these two are underrated performers, but this was a case of the booking not really helping out the match quality. There are times when I enjoy car crash type matches, and at times when I don't. My level of consistency in this area is probably non-existent. There was something about Eric Corvus versus Johnny Miyagi that was able to allow me to sit back and enjoy the car crash. There was a ton of moves and some great back and forth action. I wasn't hot for the finish of Corvus using a low blow after nearly 15 minutes of action. It at least kept with Corvus's character. The car crash factor could be seen throughout the match, particularly when Corvus suplexed Miyagi over the top rope and hit him on the apron. This is one of the more innovative matches of the evening, and good on these guys for taking what could have been a passable mid-card match and turning it into something well worth watching. Quarterfinals of the tournament saw Matthew Palmer wrestle and defeat Anthony Stone in a solid match. This match reflected the strengths of both men well. Palmer broke out some innovative offense with a top elbow drop dive onto the floor. There were a number of good sequences in the match, including one point where both men super kicked each other. Palmer again showed off his finish, this time having to use 4 snapmare divers in a row to put down Stone. If the idea of the match was to get Palmer over as a threat, then this was a successful. I only wish that the semifinals could have kept up the story and perhaps even paid it off. Back when I first started reviewing PWG shows, Candice LeRae seemed to only wrestle Christian Ranieri. Well, if you didn't know, well, that's Jesse Neal's fiance. I feel like I gave all those matches between 2 and 2.5 stars. Never been sold on Von Eerie. As in-ring performer, she seems to have the tool to succeed. Nothing she does is actively bad. Well, I think she had one match in TNA as well, with Jesse Neal in TNA. Walk away disappointed. LeRae was making her debut on Beyond Wrestling, so I understand that this match was made. LeRae would get a chance to showcase herself a number of times against fresher opponents. This was slightly better than the PWG matches. Some good chain wrestling gave a way to a strong against fresher opponents. This was slightly better than this ending as Von Eerie won with a pedigree on the apron. Given that there were 13 matches on this show, the last thing it needed was a formulaic tag team match that went 10 minutes. The contingent defeated the Dahoods in what was another sloppy affair. This messed up the finish as well as one of the ugliest doomsday devices I've ever seen. I don't know whether the referee screwed up or what, but there was a 2 count and then a merciful ending as the contingent won. A few seconds later, not only was this a bad match, but it was also a totally unnecessary, a double whammy of suck. Green Ant and Matthew Palmer could have been a really good semifinal with some time. These two guys are strong young wrestlers who showed their abilities throughout the tournament. Palmer was a serious threat based on winning 2 matches clean with his finish. Having him lose in 4 seconds to a move Green Ant doesn't even use as his finish among the more perplexing decisions I've seen in quite a while. If either wrestler was injured, then that would have been understandable, but both wrestlers continued on throughout the weekend. Palmer was treated as a comedic non-threat. Would have rather seen this get more time and either cut a couple of the pointless matches or have someone beside Palmer be the one to advance this deep into the tournament. If there's one thing I can say about intergender wrestling, that is the form is changing. What once was occasional jaunt into the taboo has been an important part of the independent wrestling model. A number of indies have used it to their benefit in order to add some spice to shows. Places like WWE, TNA, and Ring of Honor must deal with standards and practices since they're on TV networks. AAW, AIW, and Beyond Wrestling do not have to deal with these same standards. Kimber Lee is someone who strongly benefited from intergender wrestling since her quality of opponents is raised by being able to wrestle men like Bobby Beverly or JT Dunn. There just aren't the same number of quality women in the independent wrestling scene as there are men. The number is certainly going up, and thanks to places like Shimmer, WSU, AIW, and Shine, the wrestling scene you're going to see women's wrestlers get increased and, more importantly, better opportunities. Kimberly versus JT Dunn was a great way to end the first night. I'm not sure how well this tournament comes off when 3 of the best matches aren't even taking place within the context of that tournament. But this was a strong match that again didn't feel like a cliched intergender match. Lee hits very hard and did an amazing job dictating the pace of the match. Dunn is a hybrid wrestler who can go multiple directions, but going in the hard striking direction was the right call in this kind of atmosphere. In front of a crowd like Reseda and Providence, I can see this being a 4-star classic in front of a select few. This was a very good main event, the first night of the second tournament. For tomorrow was not by any means perfect, but there were more than enough good matches to say it was worth watching. For $15 on video on demand, plus getting the other 2 nights, this is a good value. Some very good all-around wrestling with a couple of exceptions. And the reporter gave it a grade B. And this was taped from somewhere in the New England area. And there was no commentary. AR Fox defeated Shenron with a crucifix to successfully defend the Chile Lucha Libre Championship. And they gave it 3.5 stars. Tommy Trainwreck defeated Scotty Wild with a Bulldog Driver. 6 minutes 40-second match, 1 star. Tournament match number 1, Green Ant defeated Aaron Epic by submission with the Cloverleaf. And they gave it 2 3/4 stars. Second match, Matthew Palmer defeated Jules Malone by pinfall after a snapmare driver. They gave it 2.5 stars. Anthony Stone defeated Lexus by submission with a Boston Crab. They gave it 2 6 minute 47-second match, 2 3/4 stars. Darius Carter defeated Aaron Epic by pinfall in the second round. No, the final match of the first round by pinfall after a code breaker in a 9-minute 28-second match. 3 stars. Eric Corvus defeated Johnny Miyagi by pinfall after a low blow. I guess there's no disqualification in the Indies with a low blow, and they gave it 3.5 stars. Round 2, Matthew Palmer defeated Anthony Stone after 4 consecutive snapmare drivers, 3.25 stars. Another second round match, Green Ant defeated Darius Cutter by submission with a Chikara special. 14 minutes, 59-second match, 3.5 stars. Christy Von Airy defeated Candice LeRae by pinfall after a pedigree on the apron. 12-minute, 33-second match for the ladies, 3 stars. The contingent tag team of Nicholas K. and Mike Quest defeated the Hoods of Davey Cash and Chris Pyro as Quest pinned Pyro after a Tiger Driver. 10 minutes, 54-second match, half. They gave a looks like 1.5 star. And we got Green Ant defeating Matthew Palmer by pinfall in the finals after the semifinals after a super kick, or the finals in the final match of round 2 on the first night. Green Ant defeated Matthew Palmer by pinfall with a super kick in 4 seconds. No rating on that one. Kimberly defeated JT Dunn with a front pile driver. 12-minute, 38-second match, 3.5 stars. That was your match of the night. Night 2. All I want to just say about the video of audio quality, it applies to this one as well. From everything I've seen out of Rory Mondo, I've not been impressed. Part of it likely has to do with the presence in CZW and a lack of direction. He did not have to resort to a deathmatch style or be in the shadow of Nick Mondo in wrestling. Kimberly, they had a very good match, which was marred by an injury due to Mondo that led directly to the finish. This started off a bit slow, but really got into later stages of the contest. Similar to the Dunn match, Lee did not come across as an underdog female, but as a competitor who hits just as hard as her male counterpart. This was a good wrestling match, not just a good intergender wrestling match. Lee wins obviously came out of nowhere, but Mondo's injury clearly affected what was supposed to happen. Very positive start to the show, similar to night 1. Another intergender match of the tournament saw Chrissy Von Airy take on David Starr. They only went about 5 minutes, and in the limited amount of space, you really can't see if a story was being told. They started right away with hard strikes. Starr had a ton of personality, but is still developing in the ring. Even 9 months after his match took place, I would bet Starr has got a ton better. Von Airy won with a rolling forearm because she apparently watches a lot of JT Dunn matches. Regardless of the angle going on with Darius Carter and Beyond Wrestling, I bet if I gave Denver, Colorado a polygraph test, even he would have to admit his performances this weekend were borderline impressive. Carter went at it with another wrestler closely associated with Beyond Wrestling, Anthony Stone. Some very good chain wrestling could be found in this match. Their styles meshed quite well. There was a lot of nice counters and reversals, but no real story attached to the match. The action was never boring, but it missed a little bit to really elevate towards a good match to a great match. Even so, as the third match of the card, it delivered what it needed. Eric Corvus conducted himself like a misogynistic pig in his match with Jules Malone, given his heel persona and the fact that Malone seems more geared towards being an underdog babyface. The story of the match made sense. As one of the top heels and biggest names and beyond, he definitely should be winning matches like this. They went 13 minutes and got time to execute another watchable and fun little match. This wasn't meant to be anything but a basic but good wrestling match. The booking of Matthew Palmer was inexplicable on the show, and he lost to Johnny Cockstrong in just over 3 minutes. Palmer went to the semifinals of what should be a rather big tournament for Beyond Wrestling, and then he's losing in 2 minutes to a comedy figure. I don't mind Cockstrong winning the way he did or framing this as a comedy match, but comedy certainly has a place in wrestling. Palmer came off looking like a goof, giving the first loss in 4 seconds to Green Ant, and then lost the match and his tights in a match with Cockstrong. Not much to say here, except the booking was perplexing. In order for this to be a truly good comedy match, it also needs to go longer regarding that sentence, and knowing Cockstrong was in the match made me laugh. This wasn't a bad match rather than strange booking. I made no secret of my fandom on an Allison Kay, so with John Silver seemed to be perfect for both. I was expecting a car crash type of match, and what I got was a sound wrestling match with both competitors showing off their personalities. Silver is a guy who's really toned his offense down for the better. I remember a match that he had in Evolve that went 15 minutes, and I was exhausted by the end. He's toned down his offense just enough to still get himself a good match with a wide range of opponents. This was very similar to many of the matches on this night, in that it was good matches with good but not great. K1 with a roll up, which I wouldn't have minded if not for the fact that the previous match also did as well. Back-to-back roll-ups make a card feel repetitive, and less importantly, makes me groan. There were still some stiff strikes, but they didn't go overboard. As far as intergender wrestling goes, no two people get it better than JT Dunn and Candice LeRae. I had some higher expectations than normal for this match and was slightly disappointed in the work. By no means was it bad, but at only 8.5 minutes, you only get so much in. Hopefully this can get booked down the road and get more time. Some well-executed offense by both, including a sterling start where LeRae tossed Dunn out of the ring and hit a top rope DDT, or tope DDT. After wrestling for 15 minutes and losing a hard-fought battle, Johnny Miyagi lost in 2 minutes to a giant of a man in Donovan Dijak. I'm not sure that this was meant to accomplish, but Dijak won expedient faction. Nothing much of the match. Dijak did some power stuff and did not exactly wow me. If Vince McMahon sees this man, though, he'll be in WWE developmental before you can learn to properly pronounce his last name. Dijak, how you pronounce the name? Well, only but 2 ways to pronounce it. Or Dijak. Both quarterfinal matches were rather short, but I can understand given there was still a third match for the two of the a third match for 2 of the wrestlers. At least the matches weren't offensively short. JT Dunn defeated Christina Von Eerie in a battle of the rolling forearms. Guess Dunn's was better. Not much of a match as they kept it straightforward. Kimberly and Allison Kay spent most of their match brawling on the floor, so they at least tried to differentiate their match from the others on the card. Kay even incorporated multiple foreign objects, one of which I couldn't tell, and the other, which was clearly a hair straightener. Fun brawl again. A short match before the finals, given what Lee and Dunn had to follow up with the previous night. Sacrificing the semifinals was the right move. I winced at the when the contingent came out for another tag team match. Thankfully, Milk Chocolate and definitely not the Hoods. While the previous night's match was dull and painful to watch, this was at least a decent formulaic tag match. Contingent kept up the roll on the fine fashion. Eric Epic defeated Jesse Vane in another decent little match. The video quality made it tough to tell these two men at times because they're both bald and wear short tights. Good series of moves from both men. But I was excited to get to the main event by this point in the show, which was JT Dunn wrestling Kimberly in a rematch from the previous night. It was a bit shorter, and the wear and tear probably left this a bit short of their previous encounter. However, I still liked this match a ton, and could watch these two wrestle a number more times. I got the taste of what these two had to offer against each other in an ISW pre-show match, but these two are spectacular performers. When called upon, they hit their finishers about a minute into the match really to bring the dead crowd back into the action. There were times that when the crowd seemed to be burned out and not as much into things as they should have been, given that there were 26 matches in 2 nights and many of the same people were at both shows. I could hardly blame them. Dunn hitting his rolling forearm for the 3rd time on the show and won. This went 11 minutes, but they did a lot and ended the second half of the tft2 in great fashion. Night 2 was more consistent than night 1. But night 1 had the matches for $15 though. It's tough to say that these shows aren't worth purchasing. Not as many booking problems to be found either on night 2 either. And another grade B from a reporter. Quick results from that somewhere in the New England area. Match number 1 was the tournament match. Kimberly defeated Rory Mondo by pinfall after a slam off the top rope. 10 minutes, 8-second match. 3.25 stars. Second tournament match, Christina Von defeated David Starr after a roaring forearm. 5-minute, 1-second match. 1.5 star. Darius Carter defeated Anthony Stone by pinfall after a code breaker in 13 minutes, 49 seconds. 3.25 stars. Corvus defeated Jules Malone by pinfall after a release. German suplex, 13 minutes, 3 seconds, 3 stars. Matthew Palmer defeated Johnny Cockstrong with a roll-up in 3 minutes, 20 seconds for 1 star. Another round 1 match. Allison Kay defeated John Silver with a roll-up, 13 minutes, 5 seconds, 3 stars. Another first round tournament. JT Dunn defeated Candice LeRae by pinfall after a roaring forearm. 8 minutes, 25 seconds for a 2.75 star. Donovan Dijak defeated Johnny Miyagi by pinfall after a press slam of 2 minutes and 8-second match, 1 star. Now for round 2, JT Dunn defeated Chrissy Von Eerie by pinfall with a roaring forearm. 7 minutes, 29 seconds. With 2.5 stars. Another round 2. Kimberly defeated Allison Kay by pinfall after a Rana. 8 minutes 46 seconds for 2.25 stars. The contingent of Nicholas Kay and Mike Quest defeated Milk Chocolate of Brandon Watts and Randy Summers, as Quest pinned Watts after a neckbreaker double stomp combo. 14 minutes 1 second for 2.75 stars. Aaron Epic defeated Jesse Vane by pinfall after a gory special into a knee in the face for 8 minute 28 second for 2.5 stars. And round 3, JT Dunn defeated Kimberly by pinfall after a rolling forearm. 11 minutes 14 seconds for 3.5 stars. Night 3, Beyond Wrestling positioned itself as an East Coast version of PWG. The pressure to deliver on these feat shows is crucial. This has to become a prime location for the fans of New England because of the great wrestlers being brought in, as well as a great atmosphere, similar to what one might see in Overhausen for WXW. I did have high expectations for some of the matches on the show, and for the most part I felt that delivered, being this was the Raw version. I again had to deal with the same audio and video issues as the first two nights. Also with wrestler commentary, the crowd was even more muted, so judging matches as related to crowd reaction was difficult. Regardless, the matches that needed to deliver did, while the mid-card at times seemed to drag down the show down and take away from what could have been a spectacular show. The show opened with an exciting four-way match between John Silver, Matthew Palmer, David Starr, and Rory Mondo. It was good to see Mondo fully recovered after landing on his head the night before. This was exactly what we've come to expect from these multi-man openers. Lots of action and craziness, as you might imagine. Silver picked up the victory by submission over Palmer in a short match, meaning to bring the crowd into things and nothing else. This serves its purpose, but I almost wish we could get away from starting every single independent show with this type of match. For the person who has no life and watches every show, it's come a bit cliched and rote. I like the idea of starting off with something exciting as opposed to starting with two guys exchanging wrist locks. But I also am in favor of a happy balance, as opposed to starting with I guess the four-way was more of a warm-up with Lexus and Jules Malone in a WSU showcase. It went for 5 minutes. They tried hard but had a couple of sloppy moments. I think both of these women have potential but need more seasoning before we can think of them as elite. Lexus got the win since she's more of a regular in the promotion and more established, which was fine. On a show where there were 9 other matches, including a 60-minute Iron Man contest and the tournament for tomorrow too. Finals. The idea of a 30-minute gauntlet struck me as insanity. Gauntlets are very tough matches to book unless there are fun surprises a la King of Trios or Defined Purpose. You get something similar to this. This was a match for some storyline involvement, particularly with Anthony Stone taking out both members of the contingent with a chair shot. Essentially, a lot of the Beyond wrestlers who didn't have feuds were slotted into this match. Given the length of the TFT in night 3, a battle royal or some other format would have been much preferred. Team Tremendous defeated the Devastation Corporation for the victory in a match that felt disorganized at times and too brisk in others. Ultimately, the right team won, but this could have easily lost 15 to 20 minutes and still gotten its message across. The next match is where the show really started to pick up. It was an opportunity to see a match that only a company like Beyond could present. Given contractual obligations, Michael Elgin wrestled Jaka in what should be regarded as a tremendous tremendous Haas division battle, as Jaka is an underrated big man, and this was the exact kind of match he needed to have in order to establish himself as a threat in Beyond Wrestling. This followed the formula of many Elgin matches, but really showcased Jocko very well. If you want to see two guys hit each other hard and somehow fly around the ring, then this is your match. Afterwards, Jocko put over Elgin, but said Chris Dickinson was the stronger man. Jocko had taken a vow of silence, so him talking was a big deal. This also served a nice setup for events later on in the evening, as Elgin versus Jocko was directly worth checking out on its own if you're so inclined. Another WSU showcase in the form of Christy Von Eerie versus Allison Kay came up next. Masada of all the people brought out these the issues that these two have been having and shine. I was impressed that Masada seemingly knew women's wrestling continuity better than I did, even if it's engaged to one of the participants in the match. They showed some solid chemistry and put better than I did. Put together a good match. Obviously, it's tough to follow Elgin and Jaka, but they worked hard and appeared to keep the crowd into the show. Some very good submissions here. Also, some good verbal interaction, which has become a K specialty. Von Airy won with a version of the bow and arrow in a finish that I'm not sure came out all the way together, but made some sense given but both women were going for submissions. I could go on for days, similar to this show's rim shot about watching Biff Busick versus Eddie Edwards. There's no doubt in my mind that this was one of the more underrated feuds of last year. I'm not a fan of wrestling 60-minute matches anymore, but this was excellent back and forth contest where both guys came away looking like stars with a clear emphasis on Busick. From Edwards' perspective, he was trying to take out the up-and-comer by using the headlock. Every time Busick would fall behind, he would use the European uppercut to his advantage. Some might see it as repetitive. I saw this as a logical part of the story where Busick was using what was working in order to get a fall. Also liked how the booking did not dictate these guys have a lot of falls, particularly in an unrealistic way with roll-ups in the first 10 minutes or having guys use finishes in the first 10 minutes. This was an unbelievable great match that built up and didn't over-rely on false finishes in the final few minutes to get it over. The crowd was chanting match of the year before it was over. Maybe this was hyperbole, but this was a must-see match. If you're not buying the entire show, definitely find a way to purchase this match on its own because it's great. There were some hard strikes and a lot of submissions. One of the more physical matches you'll ever see. How they kept this pace up for 60 minutes is a testament to how great these men are. I don't often say this about 60-minute matches, but I could absolutely watch this over and over again. Busick took the one and only fall with a release German suplex off the top rope in around 52 minutes. Edwards then worked on Busick with a submission in a great climatic finish. A big hearty thumbs up for that match. When it comes to intergender matches, Candice LeRae and Kimberly are probably two of the better performers. LeRae and Lee have likely wrestled more against men than women in their careers. To see them wrestle each other was a great opportunity for Beyond Wrestling. Since this came after an Iron Man and intermission, this felt like Indy's version of the Diva slot. They did at least get time and have enough for a repertoire with the audience that people weren't treating it like a bathroom break. The match went under 10 minutes but had a lot of action stuffed into it. I enjoyed watching this match a great deal. I would love to see a rematch to get more time. These two hit really hard throughout and made you believe either one had a chance to win, as Lee won with a roll-up and protecting LeRae and preserving matches. I honestly don't get the appeal of Bucks Belmar for a lot of wrestling fans. There's a certain population which I get would dig Belmar in places like CZW and ISW. His presence doesn't offend me. Against Eric Corvus in a match on a show that's already 4 hours long, not exactly enthusiastic about these prospects. I'm not a fan of exchanging bodily fluids in professional wrestling rings, and Belmar's liberal use of spitting just disgusts me and takes me out of his matches. I'm not saying it's offensive. I'm saying it's disgusting and turns me personally off. The wrestling was generally okay. Belmar won with a Rexplex And Corvus yelled at the fans afterwards, not something I care to watch ever again. Tommaso Ciampa and Chris Dixon wrestled in the semi-main event. As you can imagine, this was a crazy car crash of a match. These two guys aren't going to hold anything back or have any feeling out process of any part. The angle they were going with is Dixon beating some of the Ring of Honor guys and establishing himself as a dominant force over them. This is a great way to get Dixon over and allow excuse me, I lost my spot. Screen started rolling by itself. Okay, it goes to my computer here. Find the spot. Well, anyways, it was still such a long show, and there's a lot more action to happen, so I'll just skip on to the next match. As most of these guys do wrestle for Ring of Honor, Tommaso Ciampa, I think he got suspended just recently for his actions at the last pay-per-view. And Michael Elgin still wrestling for Ring of Honor. I think he just recently lost the Ring of Honor championship. Okay, I found my spot now. After it allows newer fans to see someone new wrestling against guys they might be more familiar with, since these two guys are so crazy, I'm almost shocked we didn't see an even crazier match. It was still nuts, but not over the top. Dickinson won clean in a match that certainly contained a lot of moves. On such a long show, Green Ant and JT Dunn had a lot to follow. Given it was also the finals of the tournament, they really had a lot to accomplish. I'm not sure they had a classic match, but they certainly delivered another good hard-hitting affair. They broke out some crazy spots and made each look like possible winners. There was a ref bump, which felt extremely superfluous since neither man cheated, and all we got was a phantom pin from the person who eventually won the match anyways. That's really the only major ding against the match. I love that Dunn won the final match as he did the first three. Clean with a rolling forearm, great way to end the show. This was not a consistent show at times. Matches felt a bit low, however, there were three really good matches that took up nearly half the show and made this worthwhile. The matches that needed to deliver did it and made night 3 the worthy purchase. I love the Iron Man a lot, and while there might be some hesitant because of the length of the contest, I promise it's worth the investment. And to see a guy like Dunn get a chance to showcase himself against a wide range of opponents was a real pleasure. He really came across like a star. The tournament itself doesn't match up with another major singles tournament, but hopefully Dunn can start a tradition of the TFT winners, going on to do bigger and better things, and another grade B for the third night. Commentators were Green Ant, JT, everybody commentated basically on all the matches. And the quick result, John Silver defeated Matthew Palmer. David Starr and Rory Mondo. Silver tapped out to Palmer in a half strangle. A 6-minute, 22-second match, 2.5 stars. Lexus defeated Jules Malone by pinfall with a DDT. 5-minute, 4-second match for 2 stars. Team Tremendous won a tag team 10-team tag team gauntlet. 32 minutes and 28 seconds for 2 stars. And here's the tag team gauntlet. So Team 1, Minutemen. Team 2, the Hoods. The Hoods got eliminated. Team 3, the Contingent eliminated thanks to Anthony Stone with a chair shot. Team 4 was Aaron Epic and Dave Cole, aka Fear and Loathing in New England. The Minutemen got eliminated. Team 5, the Wingmen got eliminated. Team 6, Tabernacle, the Team. Cole and Epic got eliminated. Team 7, Oleg the Usurper and Johnny Cockstrong, with TDT eliminated. Eliminated, but attacked Oleg and Cockstrong afterwards. Team 8 was the Crusade for Change of Carter and Marconi, almost said Macaroni. And Cockstrong and Oleg was eliminated. And Team 9 was Team Tremendous Investigations. And Crusade for Change was eliminated. And the final team out was Devastation Corporation. For Team 10, Dan Barry hits a SSP to win the tag team gauntlet for Team Tremendous. Michael Elton defeated Jaka by pinfall after a spinning powerbomb for 14 minutes 38 seconds for 3.5 stars. Christina Von Eerie defeated Alice Kay with a bow and arrow, 12 minutes 18 seconds for 3 stars. Iron Man match was Beth Busick defeating Eddie Edwards 1-0 for a 60-minute match. 4.5 stars out of 5. Kimberly defeated Candice LeRae with a roll-up, 8 minutes 38 seconds for 3 stars. Bucks Belmar defeated Eric Corvus by pinfall after a Rexplex, 10 minutes 47 seconds for 2.5 stars. Chris Dickinson defeated Tommaso Ciampa with a Brain Eater for 15 minutes 32 seconds for 3 stars. And their final match of the tournament, JT John defeated Green Ant by pinfall after rolling forearm, 24 minutes 4 seconds for 3.25 stars. July 25th results: 2014 Beyond Wrestling Americanrana. 2014 it's the Secret Show from Providence, Rhode Island. Website lookmannofans.com. Jaka defeated John Silver with a pump handle emerald flosion. Pinky Sanchez defeated Benny Martinez with a combination pin. Noken of the BDK defeated Robbie the Giant Broken with a choke slam. Upstate New York showcase match. 2 CWs. Jason Axe defeated ESWs Brandon Thurston with a key crusher. Milk Chocolate, Brandon Watts and Randy Summers defeated Flawless and Lawless of Blake Morris and Rex Lawless. Matt McIntosh defeated Joey Janela with a cradle shot. Eric Corvus defeated Mike Quest with a snapmare driver. Punisher Van Slyke defeated TJ Marconi with a choke slam. Brian Furry defeated Jay Freddy with a Boston Crab. The Hoods defeated the Influence in an RWA showcase match with the Hood Stomp. Dave Cole in the main event defeated Anthony Stone after a German suplex to the floor, and then close on to the face, and then a Tiger Smash. Resistance Pro Mob Rules. From July 25th, Willowbrook, Illinois. The show started with Barron Brothers announcing that the Painkillers were not in attendance for the R Pro Tag title match. but neither was Josephus partners. The ego Robert Anthony, Super Ego, was stripped of the tag belts, but Josephus was allowed to challenge for them again with a partner of his choosing in the main event. Ashton Vuitton with Bobby Magic's Eric Street, Vaughn with St. Vaughn, and Brady Pierce defeating Willie the Bomb Richardson. Thunder Kitty defeated Lucy Mendez. Remy with Wharton Myers and Christopher Hall defeated Simply Sexy Sean Blaze. Marsha Rocket defeated Jake O'Neal. Matt No Apologies Nix with Jesse Corrigan defeated Chris Castro. DRC Dixon defeated Angel Dust. Cobra with Justin King defeated Special Dark Suge D. And Josephus and his replacement tag team partner Eve defeated Mr. 450 and Jay Bradley to become the new R-Pro Tag Team Champions. And I'm going to close the show out with Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, PWG from Reseda, California, July 26th. Courtesy of PW Padres, Tommaso Ciampa defeated Rocky Romero. ACH defeated Cedric Alexander. Chuck Taylor and Trent Guerrero defeated Michael Elgin and Johnny Gargano. Brian Cage, who was originally scheduled to team with Elgin, missed the show with a torn hamstring. Trevor Lee defeated Kevin Steen. Steen then told the crowd that he's going to help El Generico raise orphans in Mexico. Match number 5, match number 5, Frankie Kazarian defeated Brian Kendrick. Roger Strong, match number 6, defeated Adam Cole to become the number 1 contender to the PWG title. Kyle O'Reilly in match number 7 defeated Chris Hero to retain the PWG championship. And your main event, match number 8, Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan defeated the Young Bucks in a guerrilla warfare match to win the PWG tag team titles. And that concludes my indie fed for PWG, Resistance Pro, and of course your other Beyond Wrestling events. Thanks again. Peace out. God bless. See you one mile in. If you didn't know, you better call me, bro.